Hello, you're watching a Property Investor News interview with me, Kelly Lemon, and today I'm joined by Jonathan Stein. Jonathan, thank you very much for joining us. We very much appreciate it.
Thank you, Kelly. Nice to see you.
Yeah, now Jonathan, I really want to talk to you because you've got quite an interesting story when it comes to property. In fact, why don't you tell us how your property journey began?
My property journey began when I became interested in a certain individual who I was working with back when I had a placement year at university, which would have been in the late 90s. A gentleman who, over the course of time I was working with him, seemed to be kind of growing in confidence, becoming more and more sociable, and I kind of wondered what was up with him. And it turned out he'd started investing in property and was buying lots of property in northwest London, which today must be worth millions of pounds and have a nice handsome equity sum in it. So kind of from that point I was very interested in the property market. I'd always thought that I would need to supplement my income, always wanted to supplement my income, even at the time I was still only at university. I think I always had a desire to be my own boss.
And why property? Out of all the things you could, was it simply this individual that you saw, or was there any other reasons you chose property?
I think, I kind of just got property. I'd looked at stocks and shares and other types of investments, and I just think property, because I could control so many elements of property as an investment, in terms of adding value to a property and various other options that there are. I always felt that I was more comfortable with those types of investments, and also you've got the opportunity to leverage from a financial perspective as well, whereas with stocks and shares you can't do such things like that.
So when did you actually start becoming a real serious property investor?
My first buy-to-let was in 2004. That was a flat I was actually had been living in for 4 years, and I managed to refinance that based on my income at the time, move into a house and rent the property out straight away in northwest London. But really, I guess my real investing time took off in sort of 2008. And between 2008 and 2012, I went from 1 to 16 properties, and very quickly added another 4 on after that, which then enabled me to go full-time in property in early 2013.
Now that's quite a jump. For many people watching this interview, they may go, you went from 1 to 16 in quite a short period of time. Can you tell us how you did that? Initially,
it was partly due to a small inheritance that I had when my father suddenly passed away in late 2002. I wanted to put those funds to good use. And so as I'd kind of been following the property market for many years, it was a case of finding the right opportunities to put those funds into good use. Initially, my first actual parting of funds in property was in 2003, when I put some funds down on off-plan units in Liverpool, which did not go very well, and I ended up having no property and losing £10,000. So kind of very much learnt my lessons there, in particular with regards to the legal process, because that was a big part of the problems with those 2 properties. And then, as I say, 2004 was my first buy-to-let purchase, and that's when I managed to refinance the flat I was in. It had gone up tremendously in value, so I managed to increase the mortgage value on the property, but from a residential mortgage to a buy-to-let. So that enabled me to not only keep that flat, but also gave me deposit funds for the house I was buying at the time. And for a few years, from 2008, I was just actually using the initial 80k that I had, albeit that reduced to 70k because of the money I lost in Liverpool at the time, plus some bonuses and things that I'd earned through work over the few years from 03 to 08, and just really recycling funds, but also at the time took advantage of some no money down purchases, which at the time you could still do, but quickly moved from doing that to adding value to properties, which the first auction purchase that I made was in 2009, and along the way since 2008 to date, I've also been able to borrow investors' funds as well to help me along the way.